It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's Virtual User Day. More than 200 of you, representing 140 clubs, leagues, and associations from 15 countries. I'll be kicking things off, as I do, with some reflections on the past year, with the first of two major company announcements, and then we'll move on to the full program. The first thing that is different about this year's event is our branding and design, which we have been loudly introducing and sharing with all of you. That is us, folks. We are personalizing sport. We are bringing colors and spirits of passion to everything that we do with you. User Day is my annual opportunity to remind myself, 18 years in, and all of us, why Sports Alliance exists and what is it that we want to be for our clients. Sports Alliance is driven by certain guiding truths and insights described on this page. People always need sport. They club up to do it or spectate it, which is why all clubs are quite similar in the way they work for all of their visible differences. The allusion here to our company name in the idea of an alliance between clubs and their supporters is purposeful, as is the idea of eternality. Most of our clients, being a good 100 years old, not going anywhere. It's all a bit fixed. It can't be changed. It can't be consolidated. There's no common ownership. Leagues and associations can provide leadership for their component clubs, but often at political and sometimes massive economic cost. Commercial enterprise is required to unify clubs into scale actors for all kinds of reasons, which is what drives the sports marketing and media industry, and especially around technology as complex as the many elements that comprise supporter relations. Sports Alliance exists to be a central clearinghouse for best practice and efficient sports solutions in a market which is always structurally suboptimal and will always need such support. These concepts apply, and these insights, across all of sport, everywhere in the world. 200, call them national pyramids of sport, exist. There's always professional elite sport at the top, clubs mostly like yours, amateur and development clubs in the middle, and a vast array then of community activity. Sports Alliance at its beginning in the UK and Netherlands has grown as a multilingual, multi-sport, multinational company able to serve and wanting to serve all levels of sport. We know a whole lot about the 2,500 global elite sport organizations, serving as we do 140 of them. We also know that what we do can apply at amateur and community levels as well, and we need to be thinking about how we get there. What is a club? The clubs that comprise that natural pyramid, that national pyramid, they gather their money from a host of sources. The exhibit shows percentages for a prototypical club, knowing that the real percentages will vary wildly according to sport and rank. At elite level, clubs end up pumping most of their income out to players, while at amateur and community level is grants, donations, and the players themselves who fund things. There are sports marketing companies involved in all of the arrows here, but there are a lot of things that Sports Alliance does not do. We have our areas of focus. We are not interested in rights trading and media deals and player representation. It is the orange data flows in this exhibit that are ours to unify and gather together and make sense of all of the data which they represent. Trillions and trillions, as I say, of interactions by billions of people is where we fit and our objective. Over time, we've taken a clear approach to being and building a European sport supporter-focused big data resource for football and other sports. Clubs are, kind of as I've described so far, natural small to medium-sized enterprises who happen to benefit from disproportionately large brands. But because they are, in principle, small to medium-sized enterprises, they're not necessarily big enough to develop their own end-to-end solutions. So we did. We looked at the integration and data parts of it. We looked at the business intelligence parts of it. We looked at the omni-channel marketing. All of the SA products that you use are represented in the exhibit, and all of that different industry functionality. There are other single sign-on solutions. There are other ways to do all of these things. The point is that we have gathered it all together in one place. That broad strategy, if you will, of a global, complete, and reasonably priced big data and digital marketing solution has served us well over these last 18 years. We've retained our clients through COVID, and we hope that we've repaid your trust in us along the way, as we've always tried to do, and always will. We welcome clients this year, Clément Foot in Rugby Europe in France, our first Formula One team, and staying on the driving theme, which is something which I don't do, the Spanish Automobile Federation, some Belgian volleyball and work with Disney in the Netherlands, new clubs including West Brom, Worcester, Vitoria, and Rio Ave. We also welcome Vera Mulder and Marcia Van Lent in the Netherlands, and Femi, who just joined us here in London, just in time given lockdown for him to head on home. Such is life these days. Since I last had the opportunity to address all of you, the world has obviously changed and forced on us reflection and action. 3 realizations drive today's program. We need to finally digitize membership, and we'll be certainly having a topic on that one with Mark Emanuela and Priya. We need to keep kids outside playing and everyone else in the community active, especially now. Johnny and I, with help from Rob Weber, will be talking about our community initiative. And we need to make sure that clubs stay well connected in terms of their sponsors and their supporters, which will be one of our concluding topics today. When I look at the World of Sports Alliance, this is the first of the chronically complex slides that we will be throwing at you, as is our wont today. We hear the colors look at different continents, each bubble is a country. FIFA points up the side axis look at football intensity, and then we look at GDP across the bottom. And what we really want to look at are our core markets, wealthy, medium-sized countries in Europe and Latin America where sport is king. Everything else we would get to in time. We're always looking around the world, and one of the places, of course, of great interest to us is the United States. As we look around Europe, we've not found anyone who does anything better or more interesting than we do. Through your support and your involvement, we are the largest provider of what we do in Europe. In the United States, though, where we find that for all the differences in the structure of sport, the focus on cartels, a different style of raising people up in the sport, clubs still have similar needs. So as we've been thinking about how we would keep growing and going, we did find an interesting partner, SSB, in the United States, who is in essence a twin company of ours. We've formed a venture with SSB to develop from a European and an American community. It's a bit like the Parent Trap. We were separated at birth. Later on today, Mike Banville from SSB will be introducing the first product that we are working on together. In essence, what we have found now that we have met are 2 common and shared ways of approaching that will benefit clients on both sides of the ocean and help us to meet our fundamental goal at all times of helping you make more money. Today's agenda covers the fact that things have changed, and so we have to. We're going to start with the communal scarf wave in a second, and we'll be concluding with the communal libation. We'll be looking for your questions as we go. Mark and Emma, as we start, will be putting figures around the shift from live to digital. Mark and Wouter and Priya will be talking about what these learnings mean for club membership and mobile. Johnny and I will be speaking, and then Matt and Mark. At this point, please, if you've not received your scarves and welcome packages, I take all the blame, but I do hope that you do indeed have them. I would like you now, please, to raise them, hold them in the air for all of us so that we can record this moment, as Asha shows you our space and Sports Alliance Group as well, flourishing their scarves. Thank you very, very, very much, and it's now my great pleasure